while. I think the last time we met was at that hotel in Westlands, right? Crown.
What
was good? There's
no,
something
I think
going on.
we were having an event. We were having an event
at Utu.
At Utu House. It was
Utu House. Yes.
Yeah,
Utu
it was
House.
at Utu House. Yeah, it's been a while.
Yes, well, it's like 2 years.
I guess COVID.
Yeah, I think last year, so much time passed that it's actually now that you're realizing that, especially when you're like, now we're meeting now, you realize that, wow, you've actually, the last time you met this person was in 2019. Because last year, like in 2019, every 3 months or every 2 months, there was something going on. You'd always have these meetups, Utu, whether Eternity, all these meetups happening in 2019. Sure. Yeah.
And I think for most people, it took basically, for a lot of people, it took them a while to just realize that you need to reset to the new standard now, the new normal. And sure. I think there was quite a lot of time wasted in the process because no one knew how to just sort of maneuver this new norm. And I guess we have kind of adjusted to it. And I don't know if we're going to go back to how we used to operate previously, or if this is basically how things will be going forward. Companies used to spend so much money in travel expenses, for example, travel, accommodation, and all that. And then you realize you can literally save so much money by just having Zoom calls,
Yes, and things are actually happening. Like, for example, I've not been to office since March last year.
Yeah.
I've worked from home the whole time. I've only gone to office maybe once, or no, not once, but about not more than 5 times for that whole period.
Yeah.
And everything is running, normally. Maybe there are hiccups when it started, but the moment you understand the new working system, then everything just aligns to that, and you're able to achieve everything you've ever achieved, whether you're in the office or not.
Yeah. So I was surprised to learn from you that you've been in the space since 2015. So yeah.
in fact, it's not even 2015. Actually, yesterday when we were talking, I just realized that I first came across Bitcoin in 2011. Actually.
Wow. Okay.
2011. At that time, I was trying a hand on Forex, and then I think that was around this first CFDs for BTC had come out. I remember I did a trade then. I think then Bitcoin was about around $80 or so. I did a trade at 80 and then I closed it at 120. I was like, oh my God, this is, I've made my money. This is it, man.
Yeah.
But then now to get into now the blockchain, to try now understanding blockchain, what blockchain is about, was around 2015 there. Just after a year after Ethereum was launched, because initially it was just Bitcoin. Then Bitcoin made sense from a blockchain perspective. There were other small ones that were coming out, Doge and all that. But when Ethereum came out, Ethereum actually brought out the enterprise bit of blockchain.
Yeah.
And that's when I picked up interest in blockchain and trying to see what is it that can do. We were new then. I still believe we're still quite new in this.
We're still
early.
At
least 10 years. 10 years to full mass adoption on the technology itself. So and that's it. So I've seen quite some some cycles. The markets going up, markets going down. Having the crypto winter. I think that word was created in 2015, if I'm not wrong. That was the first time I heard of crypto winter. And then 2017 came, the boom. Everyone is talking about it now from mainstream, like really mainstream, mainstream media.
In fact, the bull run in 2017 was mostly pushed by retail. So that's mass market. Everyone just wants to jump into it. Then of course afterwards, weak hands had to leave.
Yes.
And now we have the another bull run, which is now being driven particularly by institutions. And this is exactly why I think it's a bit different. But you seem to hold a different view of it. Why do you think we should expect a big retracement of the price?
Okay, it's basically looking at the world economy right now, at the performance of the market, or the general financial market last year. Because of around when COVID hit around March, April, around February, March, April, the market bled.
Yeah.
And they were saying at that point, the narrative was that for the market to recover, it would take about 3 to 4 years. Okay. And that, that is how huge the impact was then. So I think it was at that time that even other regulated entities started now looking at blockchain. I think 2019 was I would say it was a good year for blockchain, because it was around the time where now governments were actually now looking at this thing as, okay, there's something that, this is an instrument that we can work something around it.
When we used to hear about blockchain, not Bitcoin.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So, and then, but then any guy in the financial market will tell you, okay, the interest for me in the blockchain technology is in Bitcoin right now, because there's something interesting about this crypto. It's going beyond. It's breaking all barriers of growth in terms of year on year growth.
Yeah.
So it was expected, because every time actually there's like a slump in the economy, Bitcoin always rallies. The next 12 months, Bitcoin always rallies. Yeah. So and then after that, so we have three stages. There's usually the first 6 months where now you see a gradual rally, like you see in 6 months that's gone up like 25%, which we saw last year between around May to around August. There it was still around 6. It was still around 8,000 going. I think the highest it got at one point last year was 12. That was the first micro bull run, and then it went down. And then after that, now, just like any market, anyone who is into cash in on a financial asset, now that's where now the institutional guys came in. Now, when they got in, the market rallied, and I would say that was a period between around October and December. Now, when that rally happened, remember the people who got hurt or injured in 2018. At this whole time, no one was getting into the market, because you've been hit. You really don't want. You're a retail investor. Once you get a negative 75% on investment, you really don't want to. In fact, what you're waiting for is for this thing to get back to 18,000. Step out of the out of the market.
Yeah.
So when actually that's how institutions invest. They just don't get in like boom, getting into this thing. No, they do it gradually. By the time the retail market is catching up, the market has really grown. It has maybe doubled. It's 100x, and I'm saying 100x, thinking about the crypto market itself at this point.
Okay.
Not 100x, but 1x. Sorry. And then after that, that's where now the psychology hits the retail market, and then they're like, oh, let's get in.
Yeah.
And then that is now where everything is all technical analysis, fundamentals, so everything is thrown out the window. It's now emotions, and we rally this, and then we have
greed,
and all that. And in fact, if you look at the fear and greed element right now of crypto, we at greed level right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, this is when these institutional investors get out.
Okay.
Yeah. While we I just saw someone posting the other day that when Bitcoin was at 38, if you look at the market, it actually went to 42, and then it came down to 48. Let me just. So what happened is that it got to 40, and then it went back to around 33. That was last week but one. And then the day before yesterday, Elon tweets about it. What happens? Because Elon is like an oracle right now. Everyone's like, come on, this is the richest guy in the world. He's saying that we do this, we're getting into this. And that's the same thing that has happened to Doge. The moment Elon started tweeting about Doge has had like 600% growth over the past 6 weeks or so.
Exactly. And I think the first time Doge had such a massive bull run was when Elon put his on his Twitter as president of Dogecoin.
Yes, you see?
CEO of Dogecoin. So it's made the run kind of parabolic, and then of course retraced later until again he started. Now, but then I don't know, should we listen to Elon? Because sometimes it seems to be just swaying the market in different directions, and we don't know what's up with him. Or is he just trolling? When
no, I don't think he's trolling. I don't think he's trolling. Because if we look at where Dogecoin is at right now, is at 0.07. If anyone was in the market in 2017, they know that at one point Doge was at 0.04. So if you've been in the market for long, this is a price that you've seen it before. You've seen, and Doge usually has some very sick rallies when it's rallying. It has this periodic rallies, and I think it's for Doge. I think it's more psychological because of the price. The price of Doge is quite negligible. Okay, not negligible, but it's quite low. And anyone who gets into the crypto space, especially retail investors, they're always looking at the cheaper coins. Okay.
Yes.
And that's the reason why Doge and Ripple, they're always among the first coins that someone would, if I want to grow my portfolio, they always want to get into Ripple and Doge. So and you'll see there's gonna be some news. Probably, I think we're at a stage where maybe the news are going to start dying down now in February. I'm projecting that in the next 6 months, we'll probably be at around 25,000. In fact, I think we're going to have a crypto tweet, a crypto winter again, the same one that we had, like the one we had after December of 2017, January of 2018. You're probably going to have the price is going to probably the least 12.5K. An average around 15K. That would be about negative 60% of what is currently in the market, which is normal, by the way, for crypto. As in, crypto will easily take you down 60%, whether you like it or not. Anyone who'd be interested right now to get into the market, I think we'll be looking at Litecoin. Now, Litecoin is very interesting. The Litecoin trading psychology is different from Bitcoin. Normally, when Bitcoin rallies and then it gets to those high prices, everyone looks at which is the next sound crypto in the market, and Litecoin is usually among the first five that you think about.
Okay, I'm curious to find that out, and I'm also thinking maybe someone could think of Ethereum instead of Litecoin.
No, Ethereum is number two. I'm talking about from a price perspective. When you think Bitcoin, any investor who wants to get into this market, you want to look at which are the others that I can get in right now. You just go to Reddit, Google something about XRP, then you'll realize that probably XRP is not really a blockchain solution as say. And then you look now, and then you're gonna be exposed to Ethereum. So when you look at the first five that you're going to be exposed to, is Ethereum, Litecoin, Cardano, and Stellar, but Stellar is not really that much. So what happens is that every time Bitcoin rallies, when it's having the rally, it actually really crashes Litecoin. But then immediately after that rally, and if you look at the charts from 2017, you'll notice that when Bitcoin not 2017 but 2018, you'll notice that in January Bitcoin started going down. Litecoin actually had a slight bull run. Actually right now Litecoin is the only coin that has not yet reached a coin that was before 2017, before December 2017, that has not yet gotten to its all-time high.
All-time high,
which is about 370 or 360. I can't really remember the number. It's at 190. So I'm expecting probably in the next 6 months, next 6 or 7 months, I'm sure Litecoin will get to its all-time high in dollar value and in BTC value.
Okay, I'm curious to find out why you expect a 60% retracement in Bitcoin, considering that, like I had mentioned on the call yesterday, this time it's different. Weak hands in 2017 dropped all their positions, and then whatever happened. But this time, some of the questions people are even asking at the moment is if Tesla came in and pushed the price to 46, 47, who's going to come in next? What if Apple does it next, and then Amazon, and then just the FANG sort of companies? At what point, what will make that retracement happen? Considering that these are not weak hands, these are people who, when they put their positions on the balance sheet, it's something that they really mean to, the pretty much steady hands. Do you think at some point Tesla might say within the next maybe six months and say we have we have dropped all our positions in BTC, and now maybe you're going to another crypto, or maybe we're just holding off?
I don't think they're going to. I don't think they're going to drop their position. Elon is a very interesting guy. If you see the things that he does, so and he whatever he's saying about crypto, he's what would I call him? He's a liberal. He's like a liberal investor who believes that it's not just about the traditional investments. Okay. Now, why do I think that BTC is going to go it's going to go negative 60 in the period that I talked about? It's psychological. If you think about it, so earlier on I said that between coming to the end of last year was more of in institutional driven buying. Okay. And the reason why that happened is because the year itself, on the traditional financial instruments that are there in the market, they never performed well.
Sure.
Okay. So these guys, the institutional buyers, are going to take their profits. And unlike retail investors, when an institutional buyer takes the profit, we're talking about maybe $2 million worth of a trade at once. What happens to the price? It goes down.
Oh yeah, sure.
And crypto is very psychological. The moment people see it going down, they fast wait. Now, no one is buying, everyone is selling. Okay. Now the other institutional investors, because normally the institutional investors, assuming they have maybe 100 million worth of an investment, they don't take it out at once, like the full 100. What they do is they first take profit on the first 25%, look at how the market is going to react. Wait, if the market is gonna have a slight bull run, they take advantage of that, get the other 25%. Now, what happens is that, and they usually have these targets. An institutional investor would say that, okay, for crypto, because on the normal financial instruments, they look at 25% or 10%, as in the percentages on the other instruments are quite low, but on crypto they put an easy 50%. Okay. So, and then they average the 50%. It doesn't have to be the full $100 million is going to be 50%. What they're going to do, when it gets to a certain level, it gets to, they sell the 25, they'll sell the other 25, and then they look at the average of that, of their sales, because they know if they sell everything at once, they're going to flood the market, and then the price is going to tank considerably. And then also you need to remember that institutional investors, they're not individuals, as in it's not for me to gain alone. They look at themselves as a club. Okay, so let's assume JP Morgan and give me another institution, JP Morgan, maybe another major asset fund have bought into it.
Fund. Okay, yeah, sure, yeah.
Yes, okay, and then that, you know, they usually certain classes. Okay, definitely one who do not, since in the same market, good market practice dictates that you not sabotage the market if you know that we are all in on this. So they'll just slowly get off the market, and that is what happens. So, and even last and I think for last year, not last year, but in 2018, the first half of 2018, the reason why there was that decline was because all the ICOs that happened in 2017 were now cashing out. Okay, they were not cashing out the ICO, you know, the money to be able to fund their projects, because you know definitely they're not going to fund their project with ETH. They're going to fund it with $1. So definitely, so that is what happens. So once there's a huge supply in the market, then definitely the psychology of the market is that it's the basic supply and demand. The price will definitely go down. And I think that's why I'm saying negative 60% is, in fact, it's very possible for crypto. It's it is logical for crypto for you to go to negative 60. It has happened on Bitcoin. How many? About 5 or 6 times now.
Yeah. They've been I think 5 or 6 cycles. Since 9. So what does this mean to? What does this mean for retailers, you know, guys like us in the P2P space with Slato? We get guys to trade Bitcoin on our exchanges. What does it mean to them if they're going to expect a minus 60% retracement? Does it offer any sort of incentive to get into the space now, or should you wait to get in much later then? So you buy the dip, the big dip.
No. It's not even about if you're in the P2P space, it's not even about buying the dip. It's just being in a market where you know, even when the market is, you know, it doesn't go down with a, you know, with a line. It's you know, it's up and down. So cycle. It's not just one. Yes, it's a cycle. So you just need to know at what point you're in, because if you're into P2P, then I'm sure you understand how trading works. I'm 100% sure. So you'll always know when there's a dip and an unexpected mini bull run. I think right now, probably from around March there, I think, yes, we'll get the dips, but the reversals of the dip will be about 10%, 20%. I think that's good. That's good for P2P guy. In addition to that, you know, the short period of, you know, when the price is going down is actually when you're able to know who is in the business, who's resilient in the business or not. Because if you remember, I'm sure we met in 2017. So you know very well the guys that used to buy Bitcoin from in 2017 are no longer there in the market.
Nope. Yeah.
Now we said that we're about 10 years from main, you know, from being in this, from it being from mass adoption. So you can imagine you're in this market right now. Imagine all the learning and growth that you'll have had in the next 10 years. It means that you'll be a market leader by then.
Yeah, and considering how fast this market moves, you know, it's always every day You miss news for a day, the next day you don't even know
the next
what's
is a
happening.
totally different day. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But it's still huge. What has happened? I think what has happened in the last 3 or 4 months has really everyone is literally, actually, even those people who are not believing in Bitcoin, because I've interacted. I started talking about Bitcoin to my friends, back then in 2016. Right now, I'm realizing that, looking at it, like, okay, wow, there's actually some. So the market is still growing in terms of P2P. The market is still growing. There's still people who are interested in buying BTC. Some who want to buy it as an investment asset, or as an asset. Some who want to buy it as a utility token, because there are people who are actually doing a lot of business, especially right now with all this online type of work, because that's also where we're headed to. Then BTC is going to be the medium of exchange. It will be the medium of exchange. Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk Nigeria. It's quite unfortunate what's happening over there, and we still don't know what's going to be the government's position. Maybe they might change their mind. But I think I saw a circular that they released, a second circular, which sort of just still reiterated their position. Considering that they're sort of the second biggest P2P marketplace for crypto, what should we expect to play out over there? Because I know Nigerians are very resilient, so they won't just take government ban as, okay, fine, then we want to trade BTC, considering, the market, the economy is in a recession, things are really tough over there. So what's the solution?
Not a solution per se, but my thoughts. Nigeria right now is actually experiencing what all other central banks are going to experience, whereby now the money is no longer in control of the central bank. The Nigerian economy was purely dependent on oil. We saw what happened last year. For an economy to be hit at that magnitude, then the impact is going to be huge. Now, once that happens, the population loses trust in their fiat.
The government,
it's a normal thing. It happened in Zimbabwe, with their local currency. And once once in Greece, it's also happening in Argentina right now. It's also happening in Venezuela. But specifically in Nigeria, Nigeria is very interesting, because the reason why it's actually the largest P2P market right now in Africa, the second largest in the world, is because of what the economy is going through. Okay, I don't think there's any single economy in the world right now that is doing well. Okay, apart even the major ones, none of them are. Everyone is now not trusting the government on securing their future. So people will definitely move to what they feel that the people decide is what is going to secure their future. And also the fact that Nigeria has a very huge diaspora community, and they know. So why would I send money? Why would I send you dollars for you to get half of the value of that dollar? Based on the central bank rate, it just doesn't make sense. I'm working myself off in Europe or America, working so hard only to send you money that is going to be devalued by your local fiat by half, or maybe 40%. That's quite unfair. So that's why the P2P market for BTC. In fact, in Nigeria, I know there are places where there's actually normal shop transaction on BTC, like standard. There are some people who actually, in Kenya, for example, we have
BTC for
they just accept BTC. They prefer not. They prefer BTC. They prefer BTC to other.
They can even discount the purchases if you're going to pay in BTC.
Exactly. And so it's unfortunate what the Nigerian government is doing, or the direction they're taking with crypto. It's quite interesting. Although you'll always hear the you'll always hear the central bank saying that we have nothing against blockchain, but then what we have against is a cryptocurrency, and they're trying to protect the masses and all that. Yet they're actually the ones who are messing up the masses in terms of the policies that you take. Plus, also one important issue that is happening in Nigeria is the governance issue. The people just not just the central bank, but they just don't trust their government.
Completely, especially after the NSAS protest.
Yes. There's just no trust in the government itself in securing the future of a regular Nigerian, and so the people are now taking the decisions. They're the ones who are making the financial decisions. Am I going to use this paper that is backed by the government, but I'm not sure whether the value will be the same in the next 3 months? Or are we as a community going to decide, you know what, there's another force that is not controlled, and we're sure we're not going to change each other, or we ourselves, and we're not in a position to influence the market?
Outside of Nigeria, which other African countries do you think really need BTC? Probably they're expecting some sort of economic meltdown in the next couple of months, maybe, because while the economy is generally
it's bad. It's bad, and
but particularly for Africa.
I think for Africa, we look at the countries that are highly debt-ridden right now. And when I say debt-ridden, because most of the debts in Africa is dollar denominated, while all the currencies in Africa right now are losing against the dollar. Even with these Chinese-backed loans, China brought all the money to Africa, and unfortunately, what we're spending, or our governance is not justifying these amounts of loans. So the benefit of these loans will probably not be felt, but we'll pay. We have to pay them either way. This is a wild card, and I told someone about it, and they were like, "No, that's not possible." But Zambia actually.
I was actually going to mention Zambia.
Yes. Zambia is in trouble right now.
They're
in trouble right now.
They haven't. They can't pay. And now the lenders are coming in to...
Yes, and they'll come. So what will happen to the economy? The economy will collapse. Not really collapse. Obviously, they can't. The IMF and these major financial corporations cannot allow it to collapse, but it will decline. The value of the kwacha will decline considerably. That is going to happen in the next 12 to 18 months. The value of the kwacha will really, really go down. The yields, the national yields will, they won't be what they were. And so, and I think, in fact, for mass adoption, I think Africa is going to be the first place where, for as long as our internet connection is growing at the rate at which it's growing at, then Africa is going to be the frontier for crypto and blockchain in terms of mass adoption. We are quite our traditional financial systems are not that matured. They're traditional, they've been there for some time, but they're still not matured compared to the Western economies, to a way that, in a point whereby, if there's a switch, although the switch will not happen immediately, whenever the switch will happen, the impact will not be as huge as it would be if it was to happen in the Western economies.
Sure. So what do you think we should expect in the crypto markets maybe in the next week, so to speak? Which sort of market
in the
next week, just for example, which sort of major news do you think might shake up the market? Which coins should we look out for?
I think okay. I really don't trade by week. I look at a month or two. Right now, just
And the reason I'm actually asking the next week is because we saw what happened the day before yesterday. It's like, 1 day in crypto is like a month. So in 1 day, the price moved from 38 to 47. Like, really, what the hell? Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. In the next week, does, for example, Tesla's announcement urge other, large corporations to also just jump in, and we expect a 50K or maybe 100?
Yes, not 50K, maybe in the next 2 weeks. Oh, no, actually, then actually, it might be sooner than that. 50K, we might get to 50K next week, probably. I think the maximum we can go to in this bull run is about 65K maximum. And the reason I'm saying 65K is that the retail market is still getting into the market right now. We'll probably start seeing the decline in March, the serious declines in March. In terms of crypto, I'm still expecting a lot of upside on BNB. Yes, we were discussing yesterday. BNB was yesterday we were talking, and BNB was about 90. It's at 100. It's 130 actually, or 140 right now.
Really?
It's quite yes.
I haven't checked.
In the last 24 hours, they've done more than 50%, or maybe the average now is about 40%. But there was quite an interesting run yesterday.
It's only 140.
Yes.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So but for BNB, I think BNB for Binance, I think it's the ecosystem that they're creating, and the future that they're creating, the chain is quite impressive. I'm also expecting at least a 2,500 on Ethereum over the next 3 months, because Ethereum, like I said, the psychology of Ethereum and Bitcoin and the first five cryptos, normally the psychology is a bit different. When Bitcoin is rallying, they rally together, but when Bitcoin eases off, they still rally for some time, and it takes about a month or two up until the time now they also change direction.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So lastly, your thoughts on DeFi?
Oh, DeFi is the future, man. It's actually interesting because I think DeFi 2020, when all this COVID thing was happening, DeFi really grew. I think that the whole point of people not being out there gave an opportunity for the developers in this space to actually create very interesting products, Uniswap and the rest. And there are others. In fact, I was looking at another one called Alpha something. It's quite interesting. I'm telling you, the next 10 years we'll be talking about the financial instruments that are going to be there for us to trade with are just going to be out of this world. But I believe that DeFi has growth. The potential is huge. It's huge because, and I think this is actually DeFi is actually what is going to lead to the mass adoption of blockchain in the long run. In the next and the products that are going to come out in the next probably 24 months at 6 months are the reason why people actually now going to look at it as there's something interesting here.
Yeah. So just a wild take. Do you think DeFi will completely eliminate banking as we know it?
Not really. See, banking never eliminated gold. So they can't. See, in any financial, in any area that is creating value, you will never be able to eliminate the traditional assets of that market 100%. Okay. What is going to happen is that DeFi is actually going to, more products are going to come out related to banking. Very interesting products. That is what I mean. And I'm sure that with time, the banks are among the most conservative industries that we have in the world right now. But seeing what is happening in the democratization of financial assets, they will have to get into it. they will have to get into it, and I think now the power will not be as strong as it is to them on controlling these assets than it is currently. I'm people would say that I'm pessimistic about this is where I tend to conflict with some people on blockchain. I don't believe that it's going to come. I don't believe that the banks will be taken out. They'll not be taken out. What will happen is that the control will be reduced.
And they will have to adapt then.
They will have to adapt. Exactly. Yeah. They will have to adapt. So the democratization of finance will happen. Now, me as an individual will have some control on what I want the bank to do for me. To not be the bank telling me what I need to achieve for it to give me maybe a loan or something like that. Yeah.
Sure. And I think they've started to adapt slowly, considering that, a lot of banks, especially in the US, are trying to get to have
they're doing research,
they're doing offering custody of crypto for their clients, and trying to get these licenses and whatnot. Yeah. So I guess that's where we are headed. So maybe in a couple of months, you'll see Kenya Commercial Bank saying
custodial services.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's true.
And
it's true.
That's going to be very, very strange to just hear, considering how right now people who are trading, especially large volumes in BTC, for example, even in Kenya, are usually asked to, can you come to the head office? And
it's quite. I know. It's quite. It's quite a tedious. It's quite a tedious activity. But then think about it this way: if we're able to trade, if at one point the adoption is that high that we're now utilizing BTC as a utility, because I'm sure that they're like wrapped BTC. The moment now we start to, because right now Bitcoin is still an investment asset per se, if I may say. Yeah. But at one point you'll get to a point, not really a currency yet, but I'm sure we're going to get to a point whereby with how inflation is going and all that, there's a point where BTC is going to be the utility. Okay, it's now going to be the currency, not the asset. Now, at that point now is where now I think the shift, the hard shift will happen. And I don't think it will take long. 10 years is not really a long time in an economy. Very many things can happen within that period. And, with the not really doom and gloom being preached, but it's actually doom. It's, the economies don't look, they don't look so healthy, all of them in the world right now. So it's going to happen sooner or later. It's going to happen.
Okay, I guess then we see what happens. I'm really glad that you came on, Robert, for today.
Okay.
And I really want to catch up on this conversation again next week. Very happy to host you, and trade on Bitslato.
Yeah, in fact, I've just created an account on the Telegram. You have the Telegram bot, right?
The bot.
Yes.
Very
interesting.
Have you tried to use it? Yeah, it's very easy to use, and we are trying to drive mass adoption using, for example, this bot, because well, compared to other exchanges, I think what you might have noticed is everything that you need to do on the platform is just right down your face. It's very, you just click on it, and of course it's a bot, so anything you tell it does it immediately. And of course it's an escrow, so if you're trading with strangers, you don't have to worry. All the terms,
true.
As long as the terms are there and you accept them, that's it. So really grateful to have you, and I hope to catch up with you again next week.
Okay, thanks a lot, Fred. I think next week.
Yes,
thank you.
We're actually doing this in partnership with Bitcoin KE, David Gitonga. Yeah, so I think you've met him probably.
Yeah. Pass my regards.
He's done all these events.
Yes. I know him. He's actually our communications guy in Kenya.
Guru.
If you don't know Dave, then I don't know to do in
you
this
don't
market.
know anyone.
You don't know anyone.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'll
Okay,
catch up with you soon.
Okay,
All
thanks.
right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.